The forest was full of screams. Men, women, and children ran through the thick trees, their faces covered in dirt and fear. Above them, black alien ships floated in the sky like silent shadows. The sun was gone, hidden behind thick clouds of smoke. Earth was no longer home, it was a hunting ground now. The Gorgaks had arrived. They were tall, armored creatures with glowing red eyes and sharp metal claws. They called this sport the human game. Every day they dropped from their ships and hunted humans like animals for fun. They laughed when people begged. They celebrated when someone screamed. But one man didn't scream. His name was Jared. He stood in the middle of the forest, where the leaves were red from blood and ash. His hands were empty. No gun, no armor, just a black jacket and boots. He didn't move. He didn't run. He just waited. From the sky, a Gorgak's drone zoomed low. It scanned the forest, searching for prey. It saw the running humans, marked them for later. But then it saw Jared still, calm, staring right into the drone's eye. The drone paused, legumed. Closer, inside the Gorgak ship above, a warrior watched the screen. His name was Krath, a proud hunter with 300 kills. He pointed at Jared and laughed. "Look at that one. It's broken, too scared to move." Another alien leaned forward. "Or maybe he's bait." Krath frowned. He didn't like that word. Bait meant danger. But he wasn't scared. "Send one of ours. Let's see what this human is." 10 minutes later, the forest grew quiet. Birds stopped chirping. Even the wind held its breath. A single Gorgak's hunter dropped from the sky, landing like thunder. The ground shook. Trees cracked. The creature stood 7 feet tall. Its armor gleamed like black ice. It walked slowly toward Jared. Dragging its claw through the dirt, Jared didn't blink. The hunter raised its weapon and roared, "Run, human." Jared tilted his head. His voice was calm. "Why would I run?" The alien paused. That voice, it wasn't scared. Cold. Jared took one step forward. "Hey, you're standing on Earth. Not your hunting ground. Not your sport, my home." The alien growled and jumped fast. Deadly, but Jared was faster. His right hand moved like lightning. In one move, he ducked, twisted, and slammed his elbow into the alien's chest. The armor cracked. The creature flew backward, crashing into a tree with a loud boom. It didn't get up dead. Back in the Gorgak ship, silence filled the command room. That the screen went black. The drone lost signal. Krath stood up. "What was that?" "He moved too fast," someone whispered. "No human can do that." Krath replayed the footage in slow motion. Jared's strike was clean, perfect, and brutal, not wild, not lucky. It was trained. Maybe he's a soldier. Another alien asked. "No," Krath said. "We've killed soldiers before. He's something else." Another voice spoke from the back. "We poked something we don't understand." Down on Earth, Jared stood over the dead alien. He looked around. More drones floated nearby, watching him. Didn't care. He looked straight at them and smiled. Then he whispered 2 words. "Send more." And just like that, the hunter became the hunted. The Gorgaks didn't waste time. 5 warriors dropped from the sky like falling meteors. Trees bent, birds fled, the earth shook. Each alien was stronger, faster, and more advanced than the last one Jared killed. They weren't here to play. They were here to crush the human who dared to fight back. Jared stood in a clearing, alone. Smoke curled around him. His black jacket moved with the wind. He didn't flinch. Watched the sky as the warriors landed in a circle around him. Of the aliens growled, "You killed our brother?" Jared said nothing. Another stepped forward, claws out. "We'll tear you apart, slowly." Jared raised an eyebrow. "You're talking too much," the Gorgaks charged. The first one came from behind, fast and silent, but Jared turned at the perfect moment. He ducked under the swing, grabbed the alien's arm, and twisted. Bones snapped. The alien screamed. Before it could react, Jared punched one straight into its chest. The armor shattered. Dead. The second warrior fired a plasma shot. Jared moved sideways. The beam missed him by inches. In a blink, Jared was in front of the alien. He slammed his fist into its head. Sparks flew. The helmet broke apart. Dead, the others hesitated. This human didn't move like the others. He didn't panic. He didn't run. He danced from above. Krath watched the screen in disbelief. His sharp claws tapped the table. "Two gone," he muttered. "This isn't possible." Another alien captain stared at the data. "His movement speed is above human limits. Reaction time, inhuman. That's not a civilian," Krath growled. "Then what is he?" No one answered. Back on the ground, the last three Gorgaks surrounded Jared. They spread out, trying to corner him. One charged with a plasma blade. Another flew above him with a jetpack. The third stayed back, aiming a heavy cannon. Jared smiled. "Now it gets interesting." He grabbed a broken piece of metal from the ground. In one quick move, he threw it into the air. It hit the flying Gorgaks right in the JETP. Cock. Boom. Fire. Smoke. The alien crashed, screaming, and didn't get back up. The one with the plasma blade reached Jared. They fought fast metal against muscle. But Jared ducked, twisted, and drove. His knee into the alien's gut, and he picked up the plasma blade, threw it like a spear, straight into the chest of the one with the cannon. Silence. Only Jared was left standing. 5 elite hunters, all dead. Inside the alien warship, panic spread. "He's a ghost," one whispered. "No," Krath said. "He's a weapon, a living weapon." Another asked, "Should we call the High Mind?" Krath's eyes narrowed. "No, not yet. I want to face him myself." Later that night, Jared sat by a fire. He was calm, his face unreadable. He looked at the stars above. The alien bodies lay in the shadows nearby. He wasn't proud. He wasn't angry. He was waiting. Footsteps approached. A girl, no older than 17, stepped out from the trees. She had a cut on her face and fear in her eyes. But she looked at Jared with awe. "You're not scared of them," she said. "No," Jared replied softly. "Why?" He looked at her. His voice was low. "'Cause I've seen worse monsters. And I've been one." She stepped closer. "What are you?" Jared didn't answer right away. He stared into the fire. "Long ago, some people thought they could make perfect soldiers. They trained us to be fast, silent, deadly, then they buried us. Because we were too dangerous." The girl's eyes widened. "You're one of them?" Jared nodded. Double quotes, and now he woke me up. Far above, in a dark alien chamber, Krath sharpened his blade. "The human must fall," he said, "but deep." Inside, even Krath felt something new in his chest. A feeling Gorgaks were never supposed to feel. Fear. The Gorgaks research ship floated above Earth's clouds like a dark moon. Inside, alarms rang. Screens showed the same human again and again. Jared. Footage of him killing elite hunters. Footage of him moving faster than machines could track. High-ranking Gorgak scientist Druntik leaned forward and narrowed his 4 glowing eyes. "This is not normal human behavior," he said. Krath stood beside him, silent, angry. Druntik pressed buttons on his console. "I searched Earth's deep records, old files, hidden files." He paused. "I found something, ... locked under a program called Project Black." Krath growled. "What is it?" Druntik turned. "A mistake Earth tried to forget. Decades ago, Earth was at war with itself. Nations collapsed. Chaos ruled. In the shadows, powerful people made a plan. They wanted super soldiers, not machines, but humans trained beyond limits. Stronger, faster, smarter. These soldiers had no names, it's only numbers. They were trained to feel no fear, no pain. They could kill with bare hands, disappear in darkness. Their minds were sharp, their hearts dash cold. The project worked too well. One day, something went wrong. The soldiers refused orders. They stopped listening. One group vanished. The others were shut down, locked away in underground chambers. The program was buried. Project Black was erased from the world. Back in the forest, Jared and the girl, her name was Myra, moved through the trees quietly. Myra had questions, but Jared mostly stayed silent. She finally asked, "How many were there?" "Like you?" Jared paused. 12 made it to the end. "Where are they now?" Jared stopped walking. He looked into the trees. "Sleeping," he said. "Waiting for what? For the world to need them again?" In the Gorgak's command ship, Krath clenched his claws. "Activate the scan. Find the others. Find the rest of Project Black." Druntic nodded. "Yes, but be careful. If he's active, the others may wake up too." A cold, dark bunker deep under the mountains of Earth. Lights flickered. A heartbeat monitor began to beep. Then another, then another. One by one, hidden cryochambers unlocked. Frost fell to the floor. Men and women opened their eyes, quiet, calm, deadly. One whispered, "He's awake." Another nodded. "Then it's time." They didn't shout. They didn't cheer. They just got up, dressed, and walked out into the night. Mira and Jared reached an old radio tower. The place was broken, rusted, half buried in vines. But the satellite dish still pointed to the sky. Jared connected a small device to the tower. Mira asked, "What are you doing?" He didn't look up, calling ghosts. As the screen lit up, coordinates appeared. All across Earth, old bunkers responded. Project Black. Signal received. Status: active. Orders: protect Earth. Enemies: Gorgaks. Jared watched the screen. "They're coming." Mira stepped back. "Who?" Jared looked at her. "The others. The last weapons Earth never used." High above, the alien scientists panicked. "We're picking up signals," Druntic shouted, "all across the planet." "They're waking up." Krath smashed the table. "Destroy them now. Burn the bunkers." "It's too late," said Druntic. That night, in the cold air of the mountains, 10 shadows gathered under the stars. Each wore different gear. Some had blades. Some had guns. One carried nothing but a steel pipe. They said no names. Gave no greetings. Jared stepped into the circle. One of them nodded. "You look older." "You look slower," Jared replied. They smiled. Mira watched them all, amazed. "You're like soldiers." "Oh," Jared said. "We're what came after?" "Soldiers." Far away, the alien fleet began to move. More ships. More weapons. This was no longer a game. The Gorgaks had started a war. And now, Earth was ready to fight back. The alien squad moved carefully through the ruined city. 12 Gorgaks warriors in heavy armor, scanning every street, every rooftop. They walked slowly, weapons ready. Their eyes glowed in the dark. Their mission was clear. Find Jared. Kill him. The threat of Project Black. But the city felt wrong. Too quiet. No humans ran. No shots were fired. It was like the city was watching. Then the voice came from a broken speaker on a nearby wall. "You should have run." The aliens froze. The voice was calm, deep, human. Another speaker crackled on the left. "You hunted children, laughed while they screamed." A third voice echoed from above. "Now you'll understand fear." The Gorgaks turned in every direction, but saw no one. Then the traps activated. The ground under the first alien exploded. Upward razor wire shot from the Earth, wrapping around its legs and dragging it into a hole. Gone. The second stepped back only to trigger a pressure plate. From above, a steel beam slammed down, crushing him in one strike. The rest began firing wildly, their red lasers lighting up the night. Still no target, but the voice returned. "You thought Earth was a playground?" Another alien screamed. "Show yourself." Jared stepped out from the shadows. He didn't speak. He just stared. The aliens opened fire. Jared moved like smoke dodging, flipping, sliding across the cracked concrete. 2 more Gorgaks fell. Dada. One lost his weapon. Another had his neck broken. In silence, the rest tried to run, but the streets were full of traps, exploding dust, hidden spikes, electrical shocks, screaming alarms. They had walked into a maze, and Jared was the spider at its center, high above. Krath watched the live feed. He clenched his claws tightly. "How does one man destroy a full squad?" Druntic replied. "He's not alone anymore." Another screen showed movements across the planet. Small teams, silent, efficient, human ghosts. Project Black had fully awakened Crap, pointed at the map. "They're building something." Druntic nodded. "They're setting a stage." Growled. "Then we burn it all." Back in the city, only one alien was left alive. He ran through the alley, panting, limping. Bleeding, he turned a corner and froze. Jared was waiting for him, not moving, just watching. The alien dropped his weapon. "Please." Jared walked forward slowly. "Please." The alien screamed, "I surrender." Jared stood inches from him. "No mercy," he whispered. "Not for monsters." Then darkness. Later, Mira met Jared in the city ruins. She looked around at the destruction. Was this ... necessary? Jared didn't answer for a moment. "They came here to play with lives," he finally said. "Now they're learning this isn't a game." Myra lowered her eyes. "You don't smile. You don't laugh. Do you even feel anything?" Jared looked at her, quiet. "I feel the job's not done yet." Meanwhile, the Gorgax fleet prepared something new. Bigger ships, new weapons. Biotrackers tuned to human DNA. "We send everything now," Krath said. "No more squads. No more. Testing. Full invasion." Druntic hesitated. "Do you want to land all forces?" Krath nodded. "Burn the planet. Kill the black ones. Rule the ashes." But deep inside, Krath knew something had changed. This wasn't hunting anymore. This was war. And the humans had started fighting back with silence, with traps, with fear, in a hidden bunker far from the city. Project Black stood around a glowing map. They marked alien landing zones, enemy movements, weak points. Jared pointed to the largest alien ship. "They'll send their General Krath." A woman named Celine, another Project Black agent, spoke. "He's dangerous." Jared nodded. "So are we." Mira stepped forward. "Send everything." Jared looked at her, voice cold but steady. "Then we'll take everything from them." The galaxy was watching now. Other alien species picked up the signals. They saw the Gorgax struggling. They saw humans primitive, broken. Humans standing and fighting and winning. And for the first time in a long time, Earth didn't look weak. It looked deadly. The Gorgax High Command stood around a glowing table. A hologram showed Jared's face. Cold, human. Krath stared at it for a long time. Then he slammed his clawed hand into the table, cracking the metal. "No more games," he growled. "I will face him myself." The other aliens looked uneasy. Druntic stepped forward. "Commander, it is not wise. That human is not normal." Krath's red eyes narrowed. "Exactly. That's why I must be the one to kill him." On. Earth Project Black was on the move. Jared and his team hit alien supply zones. They destroyed fuel tanks, hacked communication towers, and vanished before Gorgax patrols could catch them. Each time, they left a message behind. "You're on the wrong planet." Mira, walking beside Jared, asked him, "Aren't you ever tired?" Jared looked ahead. "They're not stopping, so neither are we." She frowned. "She can't do this forever." "I don't need forever," he replied. "It's just long enough to break them." Then the signal came. A public message sent by Krath to all of Earth. It played on every screen, every drone, every speaker. Krath's voice thundered. "Human Jared. You killed my soldiers. You embarrassed my kind. I challenge you. Face me alone, or I will destroy what's left of your people." Challenge was clear. 1-on-1, human versus Gorgax. Jared watched the video quietly. He didn't flinch. Mira stared at the screen. "You can't go alone. It's a trap." Jared simply said, "I'm going." They met in the ruins of an old city. Dust. Silence. Broken towers. Krath landed with a crash, claws out, eyes burning. His armor was thick. Its blade glowed with red energy. Jared stood across from him. No armor, no weapons. Just his black jacket and steady breath. Krath laughed. You came with nothing? Jared shrugged. I didn't need anything to kill the others. Krath stepped closer. Tell me, human. Why don't you run? Jared looked him straight in the eyes. His voice was soft. Because you're on my planet. Single line stopped everything. The Gorgax watching from orbit felt it. The humans listening in hidden shelters felt it. Even Krath hesitated because those 6 words didn't come from fear. They didn't come from pride. They came from truth. This wasn't the Gorgax's world. This was Earth. And Earth had teeth. Krath roared and attacked. The ground cracked under his charge. He swung his blade. Jared ducked, rolled, and struck with a sharp elbow to Krath's side. The alien stumbled. Krath fired a plasma bolt. Jared flipped over it, using rubble as cover. The fight was brutal, fast. Jared bled. His ribs cracked. But he didn't stop. He kept moving, dodging, striking Kraft. Him by the neck and lifted him. You're just flesh, Jared, choking, smirked. Flesh. ... That learns. Then he drove his knee into Krath's chest. Once, twice. A hidden blade in Jared's boot popped out. He kicked upward, straight into Krath's throat. Krath dropped him, gasping. Jared didn't wait. He jumped, grabbed the alien's shoulders, and brought him crashing down. The earth shook. Dust flew. Then silence. Jared stood, bleeding, breathing. Krath tried to crawl away. Jared walked over and pressed his foot on the alien's back. He leaned down and whispered. The message was sent across space. Aliens all over the galaxy heard it. A human stood against a Gorgax general. And one dot that replied, because you're on my planet, was repeated everywhere. It shook alien councils. It made warlords pause. It made invaders wonder. What else are humans hiding? Later that night, Project Black regrouped. Jared sat quietly. Bandaged, eyes half closed, Mira brought him water. You did it. He nodded. They'll come again, won't they? He didn't answer, because she already knew. But now, the aliens wouldn't come with smiles. They'd come with fear in the Gorgax capital. Silence ruled. Krath had been defeated. The strongest warrior. Broken, one elder alien looked at the stars. This Earth is no longer prey. Another whispered, we woke a species we weren't ready for. A strange signal echoed across the stars. It was short, cold, clear. Krath has fallen. Earth fights back. The message was not sent by humans. It was sent by the Gorgax themselves accidentally through a broken system. Other alien species heard it, enemy fleets, traders, even ancient watchers. And they all asked the same question. How did a human defeat a Gorgax warlord? They didn't know the answer, but Earth did. In a deep forest bunker hidden by time, an old machine beeped. Red lights blinked. A screen turned on. Project Black signal. Verified wake cycle BGIN inside. 6 metal chambers hissed open. Steam filled the room. Then came movement. One man stepped out first. His name was Flint. He cracked his neck, looked around, and smiled. Finally, all over Earth, more signals were sent. Buried labs, abandoned bunkers. Secret military sites, long forgotten by the world, all of them lit up. The ghosts of Project Black were returning, not just the 12. There had been hundreds, some frozen, some hidden, some in exile. They had waited now. They were awake, and they were angry. Jared stood at the edge of a mountain ridge. His wounds were healing slowly. Myra sat beside him, eating dry rations. You think they'll send more? She asked. Jared nodded. They'll send everything now. We don't have an army. Jared stared into the sky. Not yet. Just then, his earpiece beeped. A voice came through, deep, clear, and familiar. Jared, it's Flint. You called us. We're back. Jared smiled faintly. Then it's time. The next few days changed everything. Humans across the world began seeing them quiet figures moving through ruins, disabling alien tech, rescuing survivors, vanishing into the night. Not soldiers, not police, just humans, with eyes like wolves. They didn't talk much. They didn't rest. They were Project Black, and they were everywhere. The Gorgax responded fast. They launched full-scale invasions. Giant ships landed in major cities. Mechs stomped across landscapes. Fire rained from the skies, but every attack turned into a disaster, because now humans fought like shadows. Project Black used traps, ambushes, hacking, and sabotage. They turned alien weapons against the invaders. They hit hard, disappeared before the aliens could strike back. The Gorgax command was falling apart in one captured alien base. Mira helped Jared decode maps and plans. She looked up from the screen. You know what scares them most? What? They don't understand us. They thought humans were weak. But now, they don't even know how many of you exist. Jared nodded. They should be scared. Just then, transmission played. A desperate Gorgax voice, warning to all fleets. Avoid Earth. Project Black is active. They are not human. They are death-wearing human skin. In a hidden jungle, Flint led a group of 5 operatives. They took down an alien landing zone in under 4 minutes, no casualties. In the snowy mountains, Selene ambushed a supply convoy, leaving behind one message carved into steel. You wanted prey? You got hunters? Every win was quiet, sharp, surgical, and every time survivors whispered the same name, Project Black, high in orbit. A Gorgax fleet commander stared at the chaos below. This isn't war, he muttered. This is extinction. Druntic responded, overcomes, shall we retreat? No, we finish this, or die trying. But even as he said it, he wasn't sure which one was more likely. At night, around a small campfire, Mira sat with Jared and Flint. Mira asked, why did Earth stop the project in the first place? Flint chuckled. Because we were too good at our job. Jared added, they feared what we might become. Mira looked around at the quiet camp, the other fighters sharpening weapons in silence. Are they still right to fear you? Jared met her eyes. I don't care if they fear us, he said. As long as the monsters do too. In the stars, above, alien species watched the war unfold, and for the first time, the galaxy realized something terrifying. Earth had been quiet for too long. Now it remembered how to fight. The Gorgax had always been the hunters. They chased, they killed, they laughed when others cried. But today something was different. Today they were running. In the ashes of a once great human city, a full Gorgax platoon marched through rubble. Their armor was scratched, their voices low, their eyes nervous. They had lost contact with command. Their ships had stopped responding. They hadn't seen a human in days, but they felt watched. The leader raised a claw. Stop the soldiers! Froze the silence was thick. No birds, no wind, no machines. Then came the sound, one short beep from under their feet. Boom. The ground exploded. 2 aliens vanished into smoke. Screams followed, but not human screams. Gorgax screams, from a rooftop above. Jared watched through a cracked scope. Flint stood beside him, calm. They're cracking, Flint said. Jared nodded. Time to break them. Picked up his comm device. All teams go. All across the war zones, Project Black struck at once. In the desert, Selena's team used alien mines against their makers. In the jungle, teams controlled drones hijacked from Gorgax tech. In the mountains, a fake surrender turned into a surprise. Striked out one Gorgax survivor sent a message to his command. They don't fight like humans. They fight like ... nightmares. Mira watched a screen in the main rebel base. Red dots disappeared, Gorgax units wiped out in seconds. She turned to a technician. How many did we lose? None, he replied. Her eyes widened. None. Nodded. They're ghosts. Shadows. You don't catch what you can't see. In orbit, Gorgax commanders screamed at each other. Retreat. One shouted, hold the line. Another roared, they're only humans. But even they didn't believe it anymore. A new transmission played. A Gorgax captain crying, "Please, we surrender. Mercy, don't kill us." The video was shared. Across the galaxy, it showed a powerful alien kneeling, claws up, begging one human for life. The human said nothing. Then the screen cut to black. Billions watched. Billions paused, and billions now feared Earth. In the command ship, Druntic slammed, his fist down. "This is a disaster." The Supreme Overlord hissed through the screen. "You said they were soft. You said they were weak." Druntic whispered, "We were wrong." Back on Earth, a Gorgox scout ship landed near an old refugee shelter. The soldiers inside raised their hands and dropped their weapons before they even stepped out. Jared walked toward them. They knelt. "Please," one said. "No more." Mira watched from a distance, her heart racing. She had seen both sides of humanity, mercy, and fury. She didn't know which one was coming now. Jared looked at the surrendering aliens. Then he turned to his team. "Let them go." The Gorgax froze. "What?" one whispered. "We're not monsters," Jared said coldly. "We just stop them." The aliens nodded quickly and fled into the sky. Mira walked up to him. "How did you spare them?" He looked down at his hands. "Because the next ones won't be so lucky." That night, stars over Earth burned bright. The smoke was clearing. The battle was shifting. The hunters had fallen, and the prey had become the state. In a hidden alien council far beyond Earth, leaders of other species held an emergency. Meeting one said, "Earth is dangerous." Another said, "Earth is ready." A third said, "Earth is rising." No one dared to speak against it. In his bunker, Jared sat alone. He opened an old, dusty notebook. Inside were names of his team. From the beginning, most were gone. But now, new names had joined: Mira, Flint, Celine, and more coming every day. He smiled for the first time in a long while. The war wasn't over, but now the enemy was afraid, and that made all the difference. A single signal rose from Earth, one voice, one sentence, spoken in cold, perfect English. "If you come to Earth, come ready to die." It wasn't loud, wasn't angry, but it spread like wildfire through satellites, stolen alien comes, broken ships, and open frequencies. Every species heard it. The message was clear. Humanity had changed. On a shattered Gorgax command ship orbiting Earth, what was left of the alien leadership stared at the signal. Some were shaking. Some were silent. One finally whispered, "They were never prey. We were just early." Druntic, burned and limping, said nothing. He looked down at his hands, once proud, now broken. "We underestimated Earth," another voice said. "No," Druntic replied. "We woke it up." Below, the planet was quiet now. The skies had cleared. The last of the alien ships were fleeing. Some crashed, some exploded. Some were allowed to run so they could carry. Fear back home. Earth didn't want to hide anymore. It wanted the galaxy to remember this war. Jared stood at the top of a ruined tower, overlooking a dead battlefield. Burned ships, crushed weapons, alien corpses. Behind him, Project Black, regrouped. Flint checked his gear. Celine scanned the skies. Others sharpened blades and built new traps. Myra walked up to Jared, holding a small blinking device. "We sent the message," she said. All of them heard it. Jared didn't look at her. He was staring at the stars. "They'll come again," she said. He nodded. "Good." She tilted her head. "Why? Good. Because now we're ready." Back at the Rebel command base, human scientists decoded alien data. What they found was shocking. The Gorgax weren't the strongest. There were other empires bigger, older, more advanced. Some had ignored Earth until now. But now they were listening. Now they were watching. Now they were. Interested alien broadcasts changed across the galaxy. "Do not attack Earth. Do not trust humans. Do not mistake silence for weakness." Even species that once traded slaves now backed away from the Terran system. Others began reaching. Out not with weapons, but with respect. Earth was no longer a forgotten blue planet. It was a name that made even monsters flinch. 1 week later, peaceful alien diplomat came to Earth, unarmed. Alone, he stood in front of Project Black's outpost and raised both hands. "I bring no threat," he said. "I bring respect." Jared met him personally. The alien bowed. "The galaxy has changed because of you." Jared's voice was quiet. "It didn't change. It just remembered who we are." That night, Earth sent one final signal. A full broadcast. It showed the broken Gorgax fleet, the silent fields where monsters once walked, the faces of Project Blackcom, cold, human. And finally, Jared. He looked directly into the camera. "We wanted peace. You wanted sport, you hunted the weak. Now here this Earth doesn't kneel. We don't forget, and we never, ever run." Galaxies away, warlords paused. Pirates turned off their screens, and children on distant planets asked their parents, "What's Earth?" The answer came softly, "A place we don't go." In the end, Jared stood once more on Earth's soil. The sky above him was quiet, but he didn't relax, because somewhere, out there, more monsters were watching, and he was ready, because Earth had been silent for too long now. The universe listened, and it would never forget.